how do I ensure I'm not going to get replaced by AI in my job?
Yeah.
Brad, if you were working for a normal company or doing not startup stuff, how would you not get replaced by AI in your job?
I mean, it's
Welcome
the
to
easy.
the Hevi AI Podcast, where the future's forged in iron and code.
Hello and welcome to the Hevi AI Podcast, the podcast where we explore the intersection of AI, technology, and industry. I'm Paul, he's Brad, and together we've built Hevi, your AI-powered contract administration platform. Today, we're going to dive into some meaty topics. We're going to start off with some news that's come through in the last week. Google and Microsoft. Touch on some tools that we know and love and use each week. Answer your FAQs and bust some myths. I'm going to say busts some myths there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna bust a good myth at the end too. Cool. So cool. So getting into some AI news this week, Brad. I'm gonna you're the Apple user of us, so I'm gonna have to defer to you a little bit for this one. But I see that Apple have just announced a deal with Google that they're going to get Gemini to power Siri, which has been much maligned in the AI world, and Apple has been sort of critiqued and analyzed with all things AI, and Apple Intelligence is shit. But yeah, I'm not a user, so I can't see. So over to you to vent on Siri and how good it might be now that Gemini's coming in.
No, let's vent away. I mean, we can start the venting from way back. I mean, Siri has always kind of been a disappointment in that even when it first came out, everyone thought it was going to be able to, plug into all of your apps. Yeah, exactly. And control them. And then all it could really do was choose a song on Spotify. So it's something that I think people have been waiting for ages. And Apple had this great opportunity to be the leader in that space and build LLMs, especially smaller ones that would fit on a phone locally so that it could power Siri, but they just didn't do it. And they said they were trying for quite a while. They didn't really show many results. Apple Intelligence was just a big flashy promo video that then didn't get followed through.
You can generate some emojis, and I remember seeing all the big billboards were like, "Hey, that's our cool Apple Intelligence. You can text to emoji." I'm like, "Oh wow, that's magic."
Yeah. And so I think this is I mean, they were getting slammed their share price compared to other kind of AI, Magnificent Seven type companies, as well as just because of their exposure to trade, international trade and things. But yeah, it was definitely their AI kind of lag that definitely hurt them too. So I think this is them going, look, we tried, it didn't work. Let's change strategy. This is not us. And I bet they're going to be smashed for it by investors as well as the tech community. But maybe it will be a better path forward for them.
And the one thing that they do have going for them is it's similar to the Google search, Chrome default browser and Google search default search browser for iPhone. It's they own the distribution channel for the highest end customers. So they've just utilized that as a profit center to a degree to be hey, we have the distribution, just pay us and we'll put you on our device that will get you into the pockets of all these people. So they've spent they've earned $20 billion a year over how many years with Google search deal. And now they've taken that as an opportunity to just be well, let's just get paid to do the same thing and admit defeat to a degree. But then potentially you think they should be able to do their own thing. As you said, they've got the chips, all of the Mac chips are now on device, epic specs. So you'd think that there's something coming in the future. It's just, but a matter of time, huh?
Yeah, I think that's it. They just basically, they've admitted defeat in the short term, but I'm sure in the long term, they're still going to try and build their own, like they did with the chips. I don't know if that's going to be worth it for them. We'll see. But they, LLMs, the raw models, are kind of becoming commoditized, going to become more and more commoditized. And as we know, it's what you build around them in terms of the
Yeah.
tools that you give them and things like that actually make them so powerful. So, at a certain point, maybe they'll go, it's not worth having our own. It's, if we can get a model from Google that we can put on device and just
They're
pay
getting
Google
paid
some
for
licensing
rather than
fee.
having to spend the money. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just like uh, everything that happens through when you're talking to Siri is through our kind of tool infrastructure
Yeah.
that we're putting around the model anyway. Then they don't need to build their own. But yeah, we'll see what they do.
Yeah, so well, hopefully it means that Siri is going to be at least better to use in the short term future. Is sort of the key takeaway for everyone there.
That's right, and literally that's what we've all been waiting for since AI started getting big. We've been going, how come I can't just like talk to some magical AI genie and tell it to do anything that I want it to do, interacting with software on my phone or computer or whatever.
Well, speaking
So-
as a Google user now, like you can do that with Gemini and the Google assistant. So, like, for anyone who wants to come over to the dark side, I would highly recommend the Google line of phones.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I mean, that's why Apple's like saying that they got to do something now, because otherwise everyone's going to switch away from their phones.
Okay, jumping on to our next headline, which is very localized to Australia and a bit of an interesting one because I've seen emails on it personally. But Microsoft has been in some hot water in the last couple of weeks with their Copilot bundle that was just bundled into all of their like Family 365 and Office 365s without the option to not opt in to this magic AI tool. It was just like push down your throat. Plus, also you're going to have to pay for it as well. So like they've come out and actually received multiple emails of it in the last week on, hey, would you like a refund because we accidentally charged you money for a feature that you didn't buy, or would you like to just keep using our awesome Copilot, which isn't actually awesome? So like it's interesting take, and it says that there's nearly 3 million users charged up to $5 more per month since like last year. So it's it could be some chunky dollars in refunds coming back from Microsoft.
And 3 million, if that's out of just Australia, that's a pretty large portion of our population.
True.
But
Well,
it is. I remember even seeing this in like it's US. It was in the US news that Australian consumer watchdog is like suing Microsoft over this. So it is a big story globally, even because it kind of sets the scene for potential future action from other governments trying to regulate AI, that kind of thing. Like if Australia's doing it, like Europe's probably going to do something similar as well. But overall, I mean, we just know that Microsoft's had a pretty aggressive strategy on this, trying to leverage the fact that they have a lot of business customers, and just add it in there. And it was probably something that they thought was a grey area, and it turns out that in Australia it wasn't.
Well, it's like all these large AI companies. It's like they act like small, sweaty bootstrap startups like us. It's like should be right. We'll just make it up as we go along. But they're like got billions of dollars of revenue and billions of customers that they're in charge of all of the shit that governments pay attention to.
Which almost feel like good on them in a way for having that, maintaining that attitude. It gets stuff done faster, and you're gonna get pinged for it sometimes, but it's the whole like ask for forgiveness, not permission mentality that it's probably is in their best interest to just have a go at these things.
And you might not have to pay back like $1 billion worth of revenue, or you might, but no, it's neither here nor there.
That's it. But I guess for listeners out there, if you maybe it's worth
if you have
Microsoft as your Microsoft Teams like M365, maybe it's worth you going on and just double checking to make sure you're not getting charged for Copilot for every user in your organization.
Yeah, you can invoice $5 a month times 12 months is $60 that could be sitting in your pocket rather than Microsoft's pocket. So
yeah.
Tool of the week keeps me running, keeps me sleek. It's my compass, my guide, my street. Tool of the week.
Okay, jumping into our AI tool or AI tools of the week. I thought this week let's do a bit of a quick roundtable on each of the foundation models and just the base layer. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, Meta, etc., DeepSeek, any of the ones that are just your generic chatbots. Like, how do we use them? What are they good at? What are they not good at? And how can our listeners jump on board and use these different tools? So I guess, we'll do a bit of a quick fire round robin of the tools. Each give us a bit of a one sentence, what it's not good at, what it's good at. Starting off with the good old ChatGPT, Brad. What do you use ChatGPT for?
Nice. Well, I guess firstly, we should differentiate ChatGPT, the platform, from the GPT model series,
100%.
both produced by OpenAI. GPT models are the things that power ChatGPT, but they are different. So GPT models, I think that you just consider them like they're kind of the all-rounder, like they're pretty good at everything. I'd say at the moment they're not the best at some things, whereas for a while there they were the best at everything. Now it's like I think they're good for just general research, general stuff, probably your daily life questions.
Yeah.
Like, is this chemical in my toothpaste going to poison me?
Make a recipe out of all the shit that's in my pantry, or make a magic cocktail out of all of this cool liquor that's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. It can do everything, and it can do it all pretty well. So you kind of, if you're just new to AI, that's the one to start with. Just have a play. However, once you're starting to use AI for more specific tasks, whether that be in your work, or whether that be for even just generating images, videos, things like that, music, then that's when you probably want to start looking at some of the other models.
Yeah, I think the additional point to that would be, like, I'm a heavy ChatGPT user, both personally and professionally, and I think that the one advantage that it has over the other base applications at the moment is its memory, and its like custom instructions and just the amount of like time I've spent in there. Like, it knows everything about me, and like it's scary to think what's in there. But I can use it and then I take advantage of it rather than like letting it take advantage of me. So like I'm happy with that at the moment. And so I guess that's probably the main one that I would add to that whole. Yes, it's probably the best. Just sort of front end. It's the biggest. Like, there's 800 million odd users. Most of them are still on the free plan. So it's the best one to just jump on board, have a play, get a bit of a feel for what AI models can do, and then go down deeper rabbit holes as we go. So the next one, and I think you're going to have a lot more experience with this one than me, is Claude from Anthropic.
Yeah, absolutely. Claude's the best one for coding. I think it's the best agentic model, as in the best one that can kind of almost like plan out its work and then follow a series of steps to accomplish that work, rather than just trying to do it in one shot. And it's the best one at using tools. ChatGPT is also okay at that, but I think like the whole MCP, Model Context Protocol, which is basically like how LLMs use tools. And when I say tools here, I mean, the thing that lets you when you're chatting to Claude, have it go, oh, I'm going to go find that information from your emails, or find that information.
Do a web search, or
or like write code and change your code here. Like, that's the kind of thing where like Anthropic, the company that make Claude, they're the ones that developed that. They were the pioneers in that space. So it's better. It's definitely, for coding, it's the best. For I guess if I'm trying to think of like when you would use it outside of that, maybe in your work, if you have something that's more quantitative and it requires a lot of reasoning steps, requires plugging into multiple different tools, or different pieces of software that you use, it could be a bit better as well than just your ChatGPT.
The other non-anecdotal point that I've heard from Claude is that like it is good at writing. Like, it can be like less that sort of robotic and just AI slop text that comes out of it. But like, I haven't used it in that regard to get that output, but I hear that on the grapevine as well. Okay, jumping around to Gemini. Like, I guess I've replaced Google search with Gemini, and I know that it's AI mode is there and AI overviews there, and your Google search bar is now as well. So like, what are you using Gemini for?
Yeah, I think it's changed as the models have new models been released. I did use Gemini for a while because it had a larger context window,
Mhm.
meaning I can see more stuff at once than the other models out there that were good at coding. That was kind of before the agentic models became as good. Now I'm pretty happy with where agentic has got to. That it's good enough that it don't need just the massive context for coding anyway. Um, so I think to be honest, don't use it much anymore.
Yeah.
I see the summaries in Google and they're okay, but yeah, it hasn't become as relevant for me. I think that having it in
I
Siri is going to be the the big
yeah.
place I use it.
Yeah, the big one for me is that like the Nano Banana image gen is now the best by far. Like I'll
That's true.
test the same exact same prompt in like GPT image and Gemini image, and Gemini will give me an image probably 5 to 10 times faster than ChatGPT, and it'll be of better quality, of better consistency, actually like understands what I'm trying to do and does it a lot quicker and easier, and more detailed. So like that's been the big shift for me is like the image, like 4.0 image gen when that first came out, that went mega viral and everyone was doing some really cool things there. I think Google's definitely
Mm,
ahead of the pack in the image gen. And then the other one is like definitely the video space as well. Like, I mean, we haven't got access to Sora 2, as we mentioned last week yet,
mm.
in our lowly Australian ecosystem. But yeah, Google VO 3 and now VO 3.1 is by far the best video model I've used out of the just base layer applications that we have access. And yeah, and then from an overall like Google perspective, if I want to do a generic search that I don't want my AI tool to know all of the context about me or Hevi or my family or me personally, I'll just do the Gemini search, and it works as well as all the other ones as well. And I guess that's probably the basis we should have started at the top of this segment is like all of the tools are really, really good. They're going to be 10 times better than anything that you've used previously if you haven't used anything for a while. So like you always need to be getting in there and playing with them every week.
Very true. And they're going to be better and better in 3 months' time, and then 3 months after that. So it never ends.
The actually I actually did a LinkedIn post on it this week. Was the thing that I've noticed in the last probably month more so than previously is both GPT and Gemini are starting to like play mad human psychological tricks on me. Like they'll be like really pandering and be like, "Oh, that's such a clever question, Paul," and "Oh, that's great
Yeah.
insights. Let's dive into them together." And you're just like, "Just give me the answer. Like I don't need you lubricating me up and stroking my ego. Just answer what I've asked you to."
That's exactly right. Which I think is probably a good segue into Grok, which I hear does not do that.
Yeah. Well, it depends which mode you're on. Like I've seen some clips of like the insane Grok mode where it just like roasts you and just like talks smack at you.
No, totally. But yeah, it is interesting that Grok is still, a relevant player, up there with all the others.
Yeah.
Um,
We can never like bet against Elon, I think is the base thing is like
no, it's
he's got
right.
$1 trillion to play with. So like he's got money to burn.
Exactly. And I think from what I've heard, because I don't use it too much, but yeah, I guess I've heard it's potentially better for when you want it to be more objective and less pandering, like when you need an
Yeah.
answer where there's the possibility that the AI is going to try and make you feel good,
Yeah.
where you don't actually want that. You just want to tell you the cold, hard truth.
Yeah, the thing that I use Grok for is that like real pulse check of like consumer sentiment or just like because it's got like the Twitter/X data just sitting in there. Like you've essentially got that in its repository that it's giving you real time feedback on where things are sitting, like whether that's news related or tool related or just like the pulse check of like people. That's like more real time. That's what I'm finding. I'm using that using Grok for.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I guess we can probably bucket like all of the others, like the plebs down the bottom, which are the Chinese guys. Sorry, China, if you're listening, don't bomb us or wipe us out with robots. But like, I don't use DeepSeek or the Alibaba models, and like Meta. You try hard on like Instagram search and Facebook shirts, but it's pretty shit.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Meta was always trying to be, open source. Let's like have this thing that's kind of free and anyone can download it and use it. And I think it's hard to compete with the, models that are commercialized.
I guess the big thing that Meta does have that the others don't have yet is like their integration with the like glasses, like the Ray-Ban glasses or like now the Oki glasses. It's like getting that sort of more real world application of like AI out and about rather than sitting in your pocket or sitting on the desktop. It's like can visually be like, hey Meta, like what am I looking at here, and like translate signs or do something in the real world. So like that's what it's got going for it. Personally, I haven't used it, but looks cool.
That's true. And I think the lesson that VO3 taught us is like you can't count anyone out of the race, because I wouldn't have said, Google's leading the way in any of those dimensions until VO3 came out and suddenly blew everyone out the water by being the best video model. Before Sora 2. But yeah, I think like the same thing could happen. You could easily conceive of a future where Meta brings out one that's like really good at augmented reality or something, and just no one else can match it, and it's a game changer. So never know.
I guess the key takeaway for users is that you listen in each week as we dissect all of these tools as we go throughout the journey.
Totally. You're gonna have to subscribe. Keep listening.
Exactly. So let's jump into
answering your AI FAQs, the things I can and cannot do. Ask me once, ask me twice. I don't eat chips, but I'll give advice.
So let's jump into a FAQ for us this week. And this is an interesting one because there's been a lot of talk in the news recently around AI, and it relates to job loss. So I guess the FAQ for this week is, how do I ensure I'm not going to get replaced by AI in my job?
Yeah.
Brad, if you were working for a normal company or doing not startup stuff, how would you not get replaced by AI in your job?
I mean, it's the easiest question to answer. You have to learn to use the AI yourself, because like everyone says, you're not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by someone using AI. At the end of the day, it's a tool. It's still going to have a human behind it, powering it. And you want to be one of the humans who knows how to use it.
Yeah, 100%. So that's like my answer is going to be, like work with technology to make yourself better. Find discrete use cases where you can augment your workflows to include AI in them to increase your own productivity or increase the quality of your work, that you can say, hey, boss, look what I've done here. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Like, great. How did you do that? Oh, you become like if you become the internal AI expert within your organization, you're going to be irreplaceable. Like that's the thing. So like whether it's professionally or personally, like explore the tools that are out there, have a play, learn them, then think about how you can implement them into your workflows to then, impress the people around you. And you should at least stave off the robots for a little while.
Yes. And I think the other thing is that what not to be, like, you don't want to be that person who goes, oh, like I tried it and it wasn't great because I tried it like once and it didn't work. And just talk shit about it, because every technology, like this has happened with every technology throughout history. Like there are people like that. And eventually the technology does, like everyone else kind of figures out how to use it around them. And then they're the one that's been talking shit about it. And, then they're the one that gets replaced because everyone else knows how to use it.
You can answer it to the counter. It's like, how do you ensure that AI will replace you? Is like, put your head in the sand and just be ignorant to everything that's happening around you. And then you'll wake up in 2 years' time saying, hey, here's my nice little redundancy because I've now been working. So do the opposite of that.
Some kid who's 21 and suddenly knows how to do like things way faster than everyone else.
Exactly. So jumping into our last segment for today.
Busting, tearing it down, every lie, every fear spun around. We're not the villains, not the crown. AI myth busting, true profound.
Last segment for today, busting some AI myths. And this one's going to be interesting off the back of that last discussion. Is the myth today is that like AI, as it becomes more like just transient throughout society, will eventually make people dumber over time as they outsource their like human critical thinking, problem solving, and logical reasoning to AI tools. That like we will see a dip in human intelligence or erosion in human intelligence over time. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think so. Initially, I thought no, that won't happen at all, and now I think it will, but in certain ways. So um, I think we'll stop being as smart at the things that AI is good at, and then we'll be smarter in some ways. Like we'll know what questions to ask. We'll be better at communicating, because that's how you have to interact with AI. I think we will get better at some things, but we will get worse at some things. And it reminds me of like I was I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but like reading books. Like I was reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea the other day,
Yeah.
and you hear people. This book written 100 years ago, or 150 years ago, and people are so obsessed with intelligence being the ability to memorize things. Like it comes
Yeah.
across, you have people whose whole job is, I can remember how every animal and plant is classified and all this kind of stuff. And that used to be what intelligence meant. And at that point in time, if you said, oh, the internet's coming out and Google, is that going to make people dumber? They'd go, yeah. Oh, like not being able to remember all of this stuff, that's being dumb. But nowadays, we don't think of that as being dumb. So what I'm saying is what I think is going to happen is in the future, we're going to seem dumb by the way we define dumb today, but the people in the next generation are not going to define dumb as, not knowing how to like immediately go do all these things that AI can just do for us.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And the I guess my take is that I think it's going to be like, yeah, that barbell strategy of like people will be divided. Like at the moment, there's division across society, like in many different aspects of life. I think there will be the intelligence gap that probably exists today will probably go wider, as you have the people that will just be like, okay, yeah, head in the sand, ignorantly blissful about what's happening in technology and as robots take over the world. They'll just, again, go about life and just like not apply critical thinking and just like use these tools to say, hey, what do I do here? Accept that answer, do it, move on, way you go. Intelligence potentially eroding over time. And I think the other end of the barbell will be like, intelligent humans that will like 10x their own intelligence and their own learning and their own critical thinking as they use these tools to like, as a superpower that it is, to enhance their own logic, reasoning, critical thinking to like now do like so much more and be able to like output so much more because they're using the tools as that real like leverage magnifier of their own intelligence. Because it's like, classic example would be like AI coders, or like software engineers. Would you say that like a like senior software engineer who's like on millions of dollars at any of the Mag 7 companies is becoming less intelligent at software engineering, or are they becoming more intelligent at software engineering as they're using the cursors, the Claudes, the like codecs, whatever they're using to code as well?
Yeah, I think that those people are becoming better because it's instantly doing things, giving them an output that then they can evaluate very quickly with their human brain and then go, okay, no, I need to change this, change that. So it's like you're getting better at that strategic part of the process, because you're not being slowed down by the limiting factor, which used to be like your fingers typing and the almost like the grammar of coding.
But you could go the other way, and if you just like put in a one-shot prompt to be like, "Hey, build me X," and just accepted it and then moved on, like there's the opportunity of it eroding intelligence, but there's also the opportunity of it
Exactly. It's about how you use it and the attitude you take towards it.
That's probably going to be the through theme of our podcast over time. It's like human in the loop. Let's not like outsource everything to the tools. Keep magnifying your own awesomeness, and let's keep being awesome.
Totally. I mean, that's what we're trying to. It's our mentality at Hevi.
Exactly. So I guess, that's it for us on today's episode. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast wherever you're listening to it. And if you'd like to learn more about us and what we do at Hevi, jump on over to hevi.app. Thanks for listening and have a great day.